This meeting is being recorded.
So welcome to today's show on Inspired Woman TV. My name is Ruth Cyster-Stuettgen. I'm your host and founder and producer of the show. So today we're going to interview the lovely Vusiwana Constance Babane. We did practice this beforehand. And she is an academic and researcher. So she's Dr Vusiwana, and she works in the field of educational psychology. And she writes educational stories and poems for children and youth. How inspirational is that? Her writings are loaded with psychosocial content, mainly drawn from cultural values and her lived experiences, as well as her observations of life. So I want to say welcome to you. And on Inspired Woman TV, women such as Dr Vusiwana, they are here to lend their voice and inspire, give hope and influence and impact women and girls from all over the world. So they encourage them. Okay, so women entrepreneurs and women in leaders. So welcome again. So tell me a bit more about yourself other than what I've just spoke about. What is important in your life? What's your personal situation like? Where are you from? I didn't say where you are from.
Hi, thanks, Ruth. And I'm so excited to be here. My name is Vusiwana Constance Babane. And I was born and bred in rural Limpopo in Guyana, in a very small village. Then it was small, called Mahatlani, in the northern part of South Africa, that is Limpopo.
Okay.
What inspired me, I've been dreaming about writing my own books since I was a very little girl. Okay. And my parents were both teachers. So there were books around me, even at home. So I started reading at a very early age. And I loved literature. And even, and then that passion, continued through high school. Yeah. And in my university, I was actually aspiring, writing literature, mainly in my home language. But I have been, my passion for reading and writing was for literature across the board. I was a good English student, especially when it comes to writing. I wasn't a good English speaker. Because of the background, yeah, when you are taught about the teachers who are, pronounce English words in an indigenous tone and stuff like that. So I wasn't really a good English speaker in my high school days, but give me a pen.
Oh, you were good. Oh, lovely. Yeah.
So yeah, that's in short my background, and I became a teacher, and I taught English, and well, with the mother tongue, I didn't really. They did not give me the opportunity to teach it, though I had done it at varsity. My home language is Xitsonga.
Okay.
They always gave me English to teach. So that is how my passion got promoted and sustained. So I eventually, then I taught at high school, then I taught at different institutions of higher learning, college of education, and different universities. And then I thought, wow, I am growing old and I haven't done anything about passion. So I must now start writing. So
And how long
yeah,
ago was that?
I started writing about 5 years ago. You know, when you write and you keep it, you write and you keep it, and you don't actually have the nerve to send it out there for people to read.
Yes.
Until I actually decided, you know, enough is enough. I'm having bits and pieces of my work all over my house. I now need to do something, and I need to send it out there. So I started organizing, you know, publishing and, you know, printing it out, putting it on social media, and so on. So I am very happy with the progress so far.
Yeah, that's lovely. So tell me more about your family life.
Okay.
You've got
Like
children?
I've said, yes. I've got 2 children, a boy and a girl. What a balance!
Yeah, nice.
And I am
Nice balance.
is a mother. So that is in a nutshell. And I try to instill my children also started reading at a very early age.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know, I was also surrounded by books, and they loved reading. They still love reading, both of them.
That's amazing. So what have been your major achievements other than your writing and other than your books? What have been your major achievements in your life?
I would say completing my doctorate in the field of educational psychology. That was a major milestone in my life, and that enabled me to be to write for publication as well. So I do write academic journals,
Okay.
journal articles. I do write academic journal articles as well. So that is also an achievement, because I am versatile. It says to me I'm versatile. I write creatively as well as academically.
What a talent. I'll get you to read some of your beautiful works at the moment. So with your books and your writing, tell me about your very first one, your book baby, so to say.
Okay.
What is
Now
it?
this is my my very first baby.
Yes.
This
Can
is
you
a
hold it
poet
up a little bit
book.
higher, so and closer to the camera, maybe? Hold it a bit closer to the camera. Yeah, where the lilac birds sing. Wow, that's beautiful artwork too, yeah? Telling stories through poetry.
Yes. So this is my poetry book,
Yeah.
and it's got different poems that I've been collecting over a period of time. From it's mainly, like it says, telling stories through poetry. So these are mainly stories. Most of the poems here are stories that I grew up listening to.
Yeah.
Some being narrated by the elders in my community, and including my own grandparents, and some are just metaphors that I exist actually not only in my language, but in African cultures. So it's mainly stories in the sub-Saharan Africa. Like when you read the four words there, it will tell you, it explains, you look at the 4 words there, it explains the background to this book. That it's mainly stories in the Sub-Saharan Africa, that they tell about animals and what the behavior of a particular animal is teaching you as a human being, and so on. So this was the first one, and of course some of the poems are about my lived experiences as well, and observations of uh, uh, human behavior against the backdrop of the African values.
Oh, okay.
So,
Love it.
when you read a poem, you see it is a story, but it is related poetically.
Yeah, that's interesting. So,
Yes.
so from over what period of time before you actually published that book? Over what period of time did you create those poems? Do you know? Can you remember?
Yes, I would not exactly, I wouldn't provide an exact date, but it's one poem perhaps 10 years ago that this story, I'll just, some of them I started by drafting them as stories as they are, and then put them there. So when I started writing about 4 years ago,
Okay.
then I converted them into poems.
Okay.
And some of them came straight as poems.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, when you start writing or create this poem, what are you doing? I mean, with some of them, obviously, because there's several of them. Is it some specific time? Is it some when you're walking, when you're working, when you're in the kitchen washing dishes, or when you're standing in front of your lectern and teaching? What are some of the places that this thing drops into your head?
What I've learned since I started this creative writing journey is that once you start writing, the content is there wherever you are. When you look around and then a bird is chirping, and then you listen to the sound of that chirping, then that is the content. Then there's a poem, it pops up.
Okay.
And then you walk into a lecture hall, and then you interact with students, and then they talk. Out of what they are talking, you say, wow, but this needs to go down on paper.
Down.
And then you have your poem. And then you observe the events that are unfolding in life currently, whether you're watching TV or whether you are listening to people gossiping somewhere or whatever. And then you say, wow, this is worth putting down on paper in order to educate. Because my main aim in all my writings, I aim at educating the children and youth. So whatever I write, whether it's a poem or a short story, must have that educating
that's
aspect.
beautiful. Yeah, that's lovely. So I'm going to get you to, if you don't mind, just maybe read one of your poems. How long are your poems generally? I'm asking because if I ask you to read, maybe not the whole one if it's really long, okay?
They are really some are too short, others are long, but not so long. And I am going to.
Okay. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt your train of thought. Without looking specifically for a specific poem to read out now, I would suggest that you just flick through the pages without thinking, without looking, and then wherever you stop, that's going to be what needs to be spoken about right now.
I've already stopped.
Stopped? Okay. It's like when you shuffle cards. You shuffle cards and then you stop and then you draw the card. So that's the winning poem for tonight.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So this poem is based on a short story, on a I would call it a fable. You know, when you are growing up and the old ones are telling you stories and so on. So this is one of the stories that I turned into a poem,
Okay.
and it is called Biokota the Honey Babe.
Say that again.
The sweet melody of Biokota. Let me just show you.
Let me put my other set of eyes on. Biokota,
Okay.
the honeybird. Is that the name of the honeybird, or is that a name that you gave this honeybird in the poem?
So Biokota, it's a honeybird,
Yeah.
and the name, it's a Xitsonga name.
Okay.
Given to that bird. Okay.
Okay.
So this Biokota is the name of the bird. Is the name of the honeybird.
Okay.
As given by Batonga people.
Right. Okay, I'm ready to hear.
Okay. Biokota the honeybird. The sweet melody of Biokota the honeybird beckons me to follow his lead. The song is so charming to resist. I know good things await me yonder. Jan, 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 Taglamlen, Jan, Taglamlen. Oh, how beautiful the song echoes. I will follow your lead, Biokota, my friend. For love and pleasure your tune carries. It ushers me to life's delights, so scarce. Let's go, Biokota, my beloved friend. Jan, 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 Taglamlen, Jan, Taglamlen. Oh, how invitingly the thrill vibrates. Behold, the beehive is dripping with delight. How enchanting the honey blobs are. Thank you, Fabiokota, my friend so true and kind. Jan, 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 Taglamlen, Jan, Taglamlen, Jan, Taglamlen. Oh, how pleasant the honey tastes. I will follow you further, my leader. But the next beehive looks different, though. Suddenly, with its mouth agape, an angry python shouts, "What do you want in my house, stupid boy?" My friend said I'll find honey here. Where are you, Biokota, my friend? The sound of silence sent some chills down my spine. My precious legs, please carry me away. Biokota, Biokota, Biokota. My voice echoes into the thick bushes. I wail as I run home to my dear mom, realizing that Biokota's tune has faded away. So
Wow.
that is the bird. So it's actually educational to
So
children.
That's excellent.
Yes.
I really like it. And I love listening to the way you were reciting it. Do you say, is that for a certain age group?
This is actually for all ages, you know, from young to old. Even old people find actually some who know the stories and so on. They are older, so it's basically for all ages. I would say from primary school to high school, but even adults. Like,
and did you dedicate it to someone in particular?
the poem or the book?
The book.
Yes, the book I've just dedicated it to my children because I grew up a rural girl, and my children grew up in urban areas most of their times. So I dedicated this to them to say, this is your heritage. So they know, yeah, their roots.
Okay, that's really interesting. Thank you. So one question, who inspires you?
You know, as a little girl, I've been inspired by many people, but you know, Maya Angelou.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, you know, as I like you know, reading her work. I will rise, and that said to me as well, I will rise. And also the caged bird. I know why the caged bird sings. So it spoke to a lot of my personal experiences as well.
Yeah, she was a very famous and well-loved poet and activist, wasn't she?
Yes.
Yeah.
And locally, I also admire Dinah Ferris. I admire her works and the way in which she relates her poems and her stories.
Okay.
So she is also one of my inspirational women. Yes.
Oh, that's lovely. There's that's good. I don't follow a lot of poets, but I know with Maya Angelou's work, I love her work. Yeah. What she stands for, what she stood for as well. So, and who do you inspire, and how do you do that? How do you inspire those people?
Because I worked a lot, and I've been working a lot with children as because I did work and practice as an educational psychologist, and that is where I identified the need to put something in writing, because when I'm sitting with a child and doing counseling, whether it's educational and so on, it says to me, but this is just one child. What about millions of children in the world out there who cannot access such services to get motivation, to get that inspiration? So I do inspire children and youth.
That's good. So, and are you currently working on any projects? What projects are you working on?
Yes, you know, once you start writing, it's a you know, it's like water. It just flows. It never stops. So I am still working on many projects after this one. I published this one. This is a Xitsonga one called Chihlengesha Zungulo. I published this one as well recently. And then this one, it's the most recent one for the ages 4 to 12, 13. Friends of Shangala. As you can see, it's a personalized it's a personification of animals. So it's got pictures. It's got, and then it comes with a coloring book. Also, so these pictures are also available on their own to enable children to color. Like I've said, my aim is to inspire children and to help them to heal and to help them to motivate them to be resilient. So it's mainly to build resilience in children and youth. So they color, they draw, and then they can create their own stories. They just have pictures, and then they can create their own stories inspired by this book. So it's just to empower them as well. To start to write, to create their own stories and to write.
You're very passionate about that, you know. You sound very passionate about that.
Yes, you know, I want to reach children. You know, like I've said, actually, in my interactions with children, one of the questions that I ask them is, "What do you do when you feel sad?" And you know, there was a pattern amongst all the children, and they tell me, "I read. I read a good story." Yeah, that's what they say. When they are sad, they read. So I'm like, if this forms part of their healing processes, then I should be part of that healing process, not just to access one child, but many children. So if I write, then I am going to reach as many children as possible. And in that, then they get that motivation, they get that healing through
Yeah,
my writing.
yeah.
So it is that power of bibliotherapy that is
Mm,
now pushing me to keep on writing. Yes.
that's wonderful, wonderful. So what's your big, 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 scary, hairy, scary vision with your writing? Tell me about it.
My biggest scary one
Yes.
is to, you know, is to get some of this, like this one, you know, my most recent project, and the projects that are coming, because I've now started a series, actually Kenzie's Adventures. So it's for such stories as this one, and Kenzie's Adventures
Mm-hmm.
to hit the big screens.
Oh,
And
lovely.
so that is really big and scary.
And it's
Because I can have this one
yeah,
on screen,
yeah.
then children who don't really
Imagine
love
that
books,
as a
yeah,
Disney
now,
film, yeah, as one of those Disney or Netflix films.
yes,
Would that be good? How good would that be?
this one, yes,
Yeah. All right. So I know that all dreams can come true if you set your
I
mind
be,
to it, right?
yes,
Yeah. So your vision, your dreams, if you put the right steps into action, and you act on it all the time, and believe that it will happen, then it will happen. If it's in God's will, if it's according to your divine plan that He has
yes,
for you, then that can happen, because it's a thought. It's like everything in this world, that's everything that's around us. It was first a
Mhm.
thought. It was first an idea, and then those people made it happen.
Yes.
Even though some
So
people
I
said,
mean,
"Oh," even though some people may have said, "Oh, that can't be, that can't happen," we will never be able to fly. Before planes came in, now
yes.
everyone's flying around the world, yeah, like there's no tomorrow. So, how can I help you with all this writing? And, how can how can I help you spread the word?
Um, I think, like I've shared my dream with you. I think that is the direction
Mhm.
that I would humbly ask you to lead me um, towards realizing this
Yes, I can hold you
very great.
accountable. You have to do the work. You have to step and do those things, right? But if you have the support around you, like we all do, we have the people that believe in you, then that will, catapult you forward into different directions. So I'll be happy. I'd love to support you, and just be there with you and watch you grow. And I'll share this video on all my different channels, and you can do the same. You can share it as well. And that's the seed that we're planting together. Okay. And then further along the track, if we want to do another interview or just another chat, we can organize that. Okay. How does that sound?
Beautiful. It sounds wonderful. And yeah, I am ready to follow your lead.
No, one, that's okay. So is there any wisdom that you'd like to share with us here before we, anybody that's going to be watching this afterwards? Is there any wisdom that you'd like to share with the woman or the girl or anybody who's watching?
I would really like to inspire women and children, boys and girls alike, to really look around them. And when you look around you, poetry is there, a story is there. And like Bruna said, life is a narrative. So when we live, by being alive, we are telling stories. And when we look around us and observe life, we see a story. A story is always there. A story is born in the rising sun. A story is born in the singing bird. A story is born in a growing tree. A story is born in a blooming flower.
Wow.
Just look at you. A story is there.
That's amazing.
Thank
Have you put that on paper?
Yes. It's actually part in this one. It's there.
It's in there. Okay, all right. But it's beautiful. It's really amazing because sometimes, people, women and men, things happen in our lives all the time. And if it's not going according to the way we want it to go, because we were hoping to go in this direction, but our life goes in another direction, we kind of want to give up, right? We want to give up. But it's always also that particular one, if it's negative or if it's spiraling you downwards or anything, there's still that story, right? So I like to think of it as if you are going through tough times, it's just that you're creating stories. You're creating stories to be able to tell and help others with.
Yes.
When you come out the other side, you can go back to your story and you can say, hey, this is what's happened to me, and this is how I felt, and this is how I turned it around.
Absolutely. There's a lot of things in my writings.
Yeah. That's
my lived experiences being turned into a poem, being turned into a story.
Yeah.
That I put on paper for people, mainly children, as that is my target group, to read and to build, to help them to build their own resilience.
Yeah.
So that is that is at the center actually of
that's amazing. So thank you. You're very inspiring. Even though I've written 2 books myself, or co-authored or instigated one book, and the other book I wrote by myself, I still am so inspired and in awe when people can put together a poem. I've never tried my hand at that, but maybe one day. But I also have lots of stories going around in my head. So where can people get into contact with you? Connie, where can people get into contact with you?
On Facebook, there is a Facebook page they called Where the Lilac Birds Sing.
Where the Lilac Birds Sing?
Yes, it is based on this book. So this is the page
Mhm.
where they can be get in touch with me and keep abreast with my publications,
Mhm.
all my new publications.
Mhm.
So it is on Facebook and my personal Facebook account as well.
Okay.
Again,
Okay.
get in
Yeah.
touch, because this is the book account,
Okay.
the book
Yeah.
page, Facebook page.
Yeah.
My personal Facebook account is called Lilac Beds. So it's
Margaret.
all centered around this book here, just Lilac Beds. That is my personal Facebook page.
Okay. Yeah. Wonderful. And your books can, if people want to buy
All the
books,
links,
it's on Amazon as well. Yeah. So you've got Lilac Birds, where the lilac birds sing. It's on Amazon, Google Books, Google
yes,
Play, and the Friends of Shangala is also on Amazon. Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. It's been a pleasure to have an in-depth
So
talk about you.
and the links are there.
Yeah. Okay. I'll pop the links. I'll pop those links into the into the video, or on the page when I pop the video on onto the social media channels. So I want to say thank you. If you I hope you've had a great day. I know it was a little bit of a journey to do a live. That's why we've decided to record it, because we just couldn't get the live happening today with sound and video troubles and connecting to Facebook and so on. So that's why we recorded it. So I want to say thank you, and it was an absolute honor and pleasure. So for those of you who are watching the recording, we've reached the end of another episode on Inspired Woman TV, and I want to say thank you to Dr. Vusiwana Constance Babane from South Africa. I hope you had a great time and you've learned at least one snippet. Perhaps that snippet can even be to inspire you to start writing, because we've all got a story in us, right? And we know that during this interview, it's just come to the forefront that whatever is happening around us, that can become your story as well. So please hop onto our website, Inspired Woman TV, and leave a comment there. Go to the YouTube channel and from the website and sign up or subscribe to receive notifications when there is a video that's uploaded. Go to the website as well and, connect on Facebook. If you would like to be interviewed and share your story and pass on your wisdom, please also get in touch. There's a form that you can fill in on the website. So without further ado, I'm going to end this video and say thank you again to Connie. And it's time for you to step up and stay on top of your game, Connie, and anybody who's watching this movie. So this movie, there you go, Connie. There's coming up. So my name is Ruth. We're going to make a movie out of this one, right? My name is Ruth Cyster-Stuettgen. I'm your host and producer at Inspired Woman TV. I'm also a business breakthrough and corporate performance coach and hypnotherapist and speaker. I look forward to seeing you at the next episode of Inspired Woman TV. Have a fabulous day wherever you are in the world, and sending you much love. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. Lovely. And just this on my Facebook pages and Ruth's pages. Have a lovely day.
You too. Bye-bye. All right.
Bye.